Hey, this is Corey from Trivium, and you're watching Rsptv.
Yeah, so you have a new record coming out. What can you tell me about it?
It's called Vengeance Falls, comes out in October, and it's just another badass, big Trivium record. So it's got all the, I guess, elements that are part of our sounds, but also it doesn't sound like any other records. It's definitely got a different vibe to it that makes it unique, and it's just everyone sounds bigger and better than they have before. So it's a very just a big, epic, anthemic record. Big hooks, big riffs, solos. All the. I guess now everyone, if you know all our records, you kind of like what kind of the pieces that make up our sound, but. This record just has something else to it that makes it very special.
Yeah, and you have recorded a video. How do you choose for what song recording videos?
It's the like a first official single that goes to radio and all the media outlets as like the promo song. So once we finished the record and kind of sat with the record for a bit, once we figured out the song we wanted to kind of lead off the record with for radio, promo, and all that stuff, then we decided to do the video for that song once we picked it. So that video for the song called Strife, it's not done yet. We haven't seen a version of it yet, but it's going to look pretty cool. Our video producer, Ramon, who's done like all our records since, or all our videos since like the Crusade, he's doing it again, so he's always knocks it out of the park. So hopefully by the end of the month that video and the album version of the track will come out live. We've been playing that song live, so it'd be nice for people to hear the actual studio version so they can kind of just hear it in I guess the pristine form of audio.
And your last record, Waves, became such a hit. And how do you think this record will top Waves?
I think the production's bigger, production's better. Everything, just quality-wise, just everything, performance and instrumentally sounds better. And we kind of took a lot of the stuff that we kind of tapped in on in Waves with like the groove and some of the melodic stuff. And we just wanted to take those elements and kind of push them to the next level. So Matt's vocals are light years ahead of the last record. It just sounds great, and we have a lot of really cool groove, and also we kind of brought back a little bit more of the flair, flashy music side of things. There's a little bit like more technical moments, songs that got a little bit more riffs to them, and trying to strip them down to be really short or something like that. So it's definitely kind of, I guess, a follow-up from In Waves, but also it kind of incorporates a lot of other things and kind of make it kind of like the next step further in the evolution.
Yeah. And you worked with Drayman as a producer. How was it to work with him?
It was great. We got to do the record, did it at his house, and the whole process of making a record with him was completely different than we've been used to on all the other records. Just the pre-production side of things was a lot different. The fact that we went into the studio to work on the record without even rehearsing any of the songs together was something new, because we usually like to be really prepared and jam for like months to be able to play all the songs together. And this way, we just went in with we weren't burnt out of the songs from hearing them a certain way. That kind of made, I guess, changing stuff or rearranging stuff like not so hard to grab or like to understand, because you're just so used to hearing it a certain way. So the pre-production side of it was a lot different, and then recording it, we kind of did the recording side of things in a lot different way as well, which kept the flow. There was always somebody recording, so we actually, in Waves we did the record in 3 months, and once we started tracking this record, we finished it in 30 days. So it was very fast, efficient. You didn't have to burn yourself out on playing the same guitar part 50 times or anything like that. So definitely kept the energy and just the enthusiasm throughout the process high. And he just had a lot of really cool ideas. He knew our sound. He's been a fan of us since the Ascendancy, and he just knows all the ins and outs of our band musically and stuff, and really pushed us to kind of push it all the creatively to another another place because he was like, yeah, you guys are capable of playing anything. So he just pretty much like, if he heard something that we were doing, he would like push it a little bit further and kind of make some riffs are like kind of, I guess, sneaky, like techy in a way. Like we have parts that's like the same verse, but like it's the same riff. Every time it repeats, it's like slightly played different. So it's like this kind of like sneaky proggy kind of thing going on. So and he was kind of just like progress the riff as you go. So it's not just the same riff over and over again. It's got a little. Every time it's got a little something extra. So he had a lot of cool ideas like that of just, you don't have to be, like the riff doesn't have to be the same way every single time. So that was a cool way of looking at things. So he had a lot of really cool ideas, and working with Matt, he really pushed Matt to vocally just to another level and showed him some out-of-the-box tricks that Matt never really tried while writing lyrics or kind of, I guess, tapping the vocal side of things. He had some different, I guess, processes of how to achieve the final thing. Kind of gave Matt a new way to write, which I think really benefited the record. Because the vocal melodies and the structures and the singing is definitely doesn't sound like anything we've done before.
And writing-wise, how is it? Does Matt only write lyrics, and you and Matt write guitars and bass and stuff, or do you write each other's parts as well?
No, we do. Everyone in the band writes songs and riffs and stuff. So, we all, Paul, Matt and I will come up with demos, write songs or half a song, or show each other a riff, and then someone else has something that works with it. But usually everyone, makes like demos like on the laptops and stuff. We pass them around. There's certain things, Paul will leave open for me to write a guitar part on it, and vice versa with everyone else. And everyone, we just kind of bounce ideas off each other and add to the songs. And one person writes a song, and then everyone else kind of like chimes in. I hear this and that. And obviously, once the songs get to a certain point where they're sounding like a song, and Matt starts. That's kind of like we kind of get the music to where it's pretty close to what it might be the final version of it, and then once we actually have the parts we know we're going to keep, then Matt will start putting some vocal ideas down. But a lot of stuff changes in the studio, little things like that. So when we were still tracking the record, Matt was still working on vocal ideas and lyrics and stuff. So it's like until the thing's completely done and you're not in the studio, then there's no more creative time. So there's always something being tweaked or changed or worked on up until you're just about done. So it's a work in progress throughout the whole process. But we definitely were able to do it.
Yeah. And so this album, is it a concept album or just song for song?
It's definitely got a somewhat of a common theme, and that's why we picked the title Vengeance Falls, because a lot of the lyrics, it's not all about the same thing, but a lot of stuff is about, I don't really know like specifically like all the exact details of the lyrics, but a lot of the stuff it just kind of taps upon into just all the negative things that happen throughout the world, and just like all the evil stuff that happens. And you see it just like even just turning on the news, there's always like a shooting or like some kind of horrible thing that happens to people that don't deserve it. So there's like a lot of like just like the whole Vengeance Falls theme of the lyrics is just being very, I guess, negative and pissed off about just like mankind in general and the way the world is. So the whole idea of Vengeance Falls is like eventually, you're gonna get retribution on all that stuff. So it's got that kind of common thread, and then obviously like once we finish the artwork, it kind of whole, I guess, layout of doing all the promotion kind of slightly changed as well with all our pre-album release stuff. But yeah, it's like the kind of like the general vibe is just being very pissed off at just what goes on in the world.
And for this album, when it released, what do you think the fans will?
Our fans are pretty. Or they know by now that every record's going to be different than what they previously heard on the last record. So there's always going to be some kind of new element to it, a new sound that makes that record unique to itself. And so far, we put out the one new song, "Brave the Storm," and the reaction was great. Fans really, every message I got on Twitter or Facebook, everyone was really into the song, really liked it. We're really excited for the record after hearing the studio version. And then we've been on the last few festivals, we've been playing like the first single that we have a video for, "Strife," which is not as, I guess, like super heavy as "Brave the Storm," but it's more like just like a big metal anthem, just like sing-along type song. So that one, we've been playing that live, and the old YouTube videos of the live performance have been going around. So a lot of people like that song. And I think, obviously, never liked putting out a new song live, like, because you never know what kind of camera quality someone has or what version is going to be up there for people to hear. So we always like to have like the studio version, so when people hear it live, they really know how the song sounds and the ins and out of it. So they sometimes, depending on the situation at a big festival, depending on where you're standing, you might not be able to really grasp all the detail of the song. But so far, that song's been getting a really good reaction, and I think if anyone's a little kind of on the fence about it, I think when they hear the studio version, they'll be like, oh, okay, I get how everything sounds now. It's a really big song, really big chorus, and it's one of my favorite tunes on the record. So, and the studio version definitely has the production bonus, and people can hear it for the real deal. Because, I wouldn't trust a camera phone to capture a studio quality song live. So, but so far the reaction's been great, and I think when people hear the whole record, they'll be really excited, because it's definitely a record. It's kind of meant to be heard from start to finish, because there's a lot of different, I guess, elements to the record, a lot of different types of songs that hearing one song doesn't really, I guess, cover all the bases of what we've done on the record. So it's definitely when it comes out, you definitely should check it out.